Okay, class, so in this example we're going to use more of the rules of exponents. And so we're going to assume that all of the variables here are non-zero real numbers. Okay, so obviously anything in the denominator we're going to assume that they're non-zero. Okay, so now let's simplify these. Okay, so now in this case here in part A, all of these are using power rules. Okay, one of the three or multiple power rules here. So here we're going to use the power rule because we have a power raised to a power. We're going to multiply the exponents together. So this is going to be equal to 5 to the 3 times 2 power, or 5 to the 6th power, right? And what is that? 5 to the 6th. Okay, you can get your calculator or you can figure it out, right? Let's see, what is it? So 5 to the 6th power, so 5 squared is 25, 25 squared is 625, and 625 times 25 is what? Well, let's find out. So 625 times 100, divide that by 2 is 32,250, and divide that by 2 again is 16,125, and that's the answer. So 16,125, go ahead and check it if you don't think I'm right. So that's the answer. Okay, little mental math there. Okay, so let's do the next one. So now what we're going to do is, okay, I'm going to distribute again. I can't combine these because they don't have the same base, obviously. So now but I can distribute, so I can use the power rule here, and I'm going to distribute and say that this is going to be equal to 3 to the 4th to the 3rd times x squared to the 3rd, right? So I used one of the power rules for that. Now I'm going to use the other power rule to combine these. So this is 3 to the 4 times 3, which is 12, times x to the 2 times 3, which is 6. Okay? Then of course we need to figure out what 3 to the 12. Again, you could use your calculator. Okay, so let's see here. To the 12, 3 to the 12, so 3 squared is 9. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 9 times 9 is 789. No, 729. So that's going to be 3 to the 6th. So 729 squared. That one I don't know. That one I don't know off the top of my head. Big number. Oops. Okay. Now, for the purpose of this example, if I'm just telling you to simplify it, you can get this answer here, but if you left it like this, my main focus on this is, hey, do you know how to use the rules? That's really my focus here, okay? Now, what about the next one? Well, this is going to be 2 to the 5th divided by b to the 4th. So I'm going to use the other power rule and distribute the power to the numerator and denominator. So now I'm going to write this as 2 to the 5th to the 3rd power divided by b to the 4th to the 3rd power. And so what does this mean? This means that this is going to be 2 to the 15th divided by b to the 12th, which is going to equal what? 2 to the 15th. What is 2 to the 15th? Okay, now that one's going to be a pretty easy one, right? So because you're just doubling. So what is it? So what do you get when you do this? So 2 to the 15th gives you what? So 1024. So again, I'm not going to do it. I'm just for the sake of time. $32,768. And the last one? Again, we're going to use the power rule. And so we're going to distribute and simplify. So this is going to give me what? So now here I'm going to distribute to the numerator and the denominator first. So I'm going to do this in steps so I don't lose anybody. So this is going to go first, negative 2m to the 6th power to the 5th power. So this is using multiple rules. And then this is going to be t squared z to the 5th power. And now I'm going to use the other power rule here. I'm going to distribute across the product here. So this is going to end up being negative 2 to the 5th power times m to the 6th to the 5th power. And then in the denominator, it's going to be t squared to the 5th power times z to the 5th power. You could look at it like an imaginary 1 there. And now we can simplify. Okay, now this negative 2, be careful. It's a negative times a negative times a negative times a negative times a negative. So 5 negatives. So this is going to end up being negative, right? So it's a negative 2 times a negative 2 times a negative 2 times a negative 2 times a negative 2. Okay, and so if you do that, you're going to get what? 32, right? Negative 32, I should say. So you get a negative 32, and then of course there'll be m to the 30th, because you multiply the exponents, divided by t to the 10th times z to the 5th. And we're done. So we can't simplify that any further. And that's it. Make sure you practice, and see you next time.